Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Fractals of Flora. Welcome back if you've seen other videos of mine. And today I wanted to share about what I do as an energetic alignment practitioner. What I do, the fullness of what I do with the work where I synergize the entheogens, the energy work, the energetic processing work with those, and the energy work that I have learned to do with plants, energetic signatures of plants, the healing and transformation, utilizing them as tools for energetic alignment, energetic transformation. And energy includes physical to me. Whenever I say energy, it's physical and I don't want to say non-physical, but it's also feelings. And it's the way that I think of it, as far as in 3D terms, is as if I can feel my, on one level at least, it's as if I can feel my electromagnetic flow. So energy is potential. But energy in a condensed form is physical. So when I talk about energy, I'm talking about the way you experience the movement of feeling things, feeling and perceiving, and also physical, the physical manifestation. So, the plants have energetic signatures, and the way that you would experience the plant's energetic signature, there's a variety of levels to this. You're going to experience some degree of it if you're working with the plant at all, if you're just taking it the way you would take a medicine. But that's sort of on the surface level. It's going to be more physical stuff. And then there's the level of plant meditations, which is another more subtle level of incorporating the energetic signature of the plant. And that would be what it sounds like, and with plant meditations, you're usually working with small doses. And part of the reason that I personally work with small doses is because it helps to attune you. It gets you sensitive to the energies of the plants. When you're taking 1 or 2 drops of a tincture, or just like a sip of tea, to get the energetic signature introduced into your system. But then you're not just going about your busybody thing. you take that and you sit with it, and you experience it as fully as possible with the smallest amount possible. So you're really tuning your system in to energy and to the plants. So you're getting another level of the energetic signature. Now, the way to really go the deepest with the energetic signatures of these plants, to experience it as fully as possible, as deeply as possible, and integrate that into your being and let it change who you are, let it change and transform the way that you experience yourself so that you're more in alignment with that plant's energetic signature, which means you got to let go of a lot of your human hang-ups that you're holding on to, because the plants don't have those. A lot of plants are actually good for teaching you how to let go of our crap. And certain plants, certain signatures have certain affinities for certain parts of your being or body, or different aspects of your being. Some go more shallow, some go more deep, some are expanding, some are more refining, and contracting's not quite the right word, but like some of them refine you and pull you in together into alignment, and some of them like open you up and disperse. And then there's hot and cold energies, tendencies to the energies. And yeah, you could also say, masculine, feminine. There's a lot of ways that you could conceptualize these qualities of the signatures. So that is dieta, the deepest way, the most thorough way to experience these energetic signatures is what is known as plant dietas, or plant immersions, some people here in the States call them. But traditionally, where the unbroken traditions of working with plants like this, as far as I know, are all in the Amazon. So I'm talking about a traditional Amazonian plant dieta, which is a retreat process for integrating and embodying these signatures of whatever plants it is. So typically you're working with strong doses. And my personal perspective, and I also am an herbalist, and I've also studied this Amazonian plant work, very strong doses are worked with compared to like what you would use as like a clinical herbalist. When you're doing a dieta, the doses are very strong. And you are really saturating yourself with this plant, getting it in to your body and your system as fully, deeply, as thoroughly as possible. And in order to do that, you go on retreat. You isolate yourself away from other people. It's best if you're not interacting with other people, other than if you have a guide, a curandero, or a shaman that is guiding you, or if there's other people that are dieting, maybe especially if they're like dieting the same plant, but other dieteros are sometimes around. But really, traditionally, the only person you would exchange energy with is the shaman, the curandero, curandera, either way. Um, yeah. And this is getting in at the deepest energetic level and at the physical level. And so I also learned energetic herbalism, which is essentially learning the signatures of many different plants and synergizing these plants together in a formula that is created for each individual and their unique condition, the unique state of their energy and their body, because it's the same, really. So every formula is going to be totally unique, specific for that person. And even if that person has the same like diagnosis as another person, it's still different. There's no one herb does it all sort of thing. There's no like, well, for diabetes, this is the plant you take, and for this disease, this is the plant you take. It's not like that. Of course, there is going to be a lot of times overlap with the plants because there are a select few plants that are really good at like specific things, but usually there are a variety of plants that do the same things. And they all have different energetic signatures, though. It's just that this plant over here and this plant over here, they could have. It's like the Venn diagram where the circles meet somewhere, and there's a lot of plants. They're their own thing, and even though they overlap in just this one little spot, they're a whole nother being. They're a whole nother thing. Like you can't really compare people. People are like snowflakes, right? Like even if someone has a lot in common with someone else, they're still gonna have a lot that's different about the two of them. They're gonna be their own unique circle, and they might have a bigger overlap. Anyway, what I'm saying is there's a lot of different plants that work on overlapping things, but each plant is so unique. So with energetic herbalism, you're synergizing the plants based on their energetic signatures and choosing the perfect plant for that person and their specific set of energetic conditions, physical conditions, for their specific situation. So the work that I do, it's more along the lines of dieting. Really, I just use the tincture formulas as an energetic herbalist would make. And that's what I give people to take home when they leave the retreat space. So I can give them this formula that will continue their process for weeks and weeks, maybe months after they leave here. But while they're here, what I do is more like working with dieta. it's really the most similar thing to what I do is going to a traditional dieta in the rainforest in the Amazon. So I will do a consultation with you. I will read your energy, and we'll figure out the perfect protocol, the perfect plants, and we're going to include things that I learned working with in Peru and things I learned working with on my own at home or wherever I went to work with those tools. Um, we're going to be incorporating the energetic signatures of the plants, and also one thing I learned in Peru is working with, well, one thing is like particular plant remedies that have very unique and amazing qualities to incorporate into these healing retreats, transformational retreats. So incorporating specific herbal remedies within the retreat that may or may not be the plant that you are integrating the signature of, if that's part of your process, because not everyone is going to be integrating a signature. That's more for the longer retreats, probably like a week minimum if we're doing that. But on the shorter ones, and either way, we're going to be working with possibly a variety of plant remedies. There's a nervous system cleanse. There's a one that builds like strength and resilience in your body. And I'll apply those at the right timing. There's a right timing for each plant. So after we do some of the cleansing work, then we'll add the plants that are going to be building your system back up. And the other aspect of what I do bring into this work that I learned in Peru is working with purgatives. And that includes combo. And I didn't learn combo in Peru, I learned it in California, but my teacher studied in Peru, and the first time I did combo was in Peru. But there's other purgatives besides just combo. Combo's one of the strongest ones and does a lot of other things besides just clean your stomach and intestines. It does a lot. It's really dynamic. It's a very dynamic medicine. I love it. But there's other ones that are plants that are they're not quite as dynamic as combo, I don't think. Maybe it depends on the plant you work with, but there's plants that we can do purgative work with also. And the purgative work is usually at the beginning, after maybe you've been eating clean for at least a couple days. You've been eating clean, and then this is at the beginning of like a retreat or a process that I would guide someone through. You take the purgatives to clear stuff out, clear out the gunk, make room for all the wonderful medicinals that we're about to take. Make room for it all. Get your digestion cleaned out, get the gunk out, get the old undigested stuff out, let things clear out, So you eat clean for a few days, and then you do the purgatives, which gets you clean and clear and helps your digestion work better and absorb things better. So then you're more ready, you're more primed for consuming the plants on a physical level for sure, and then on an energetic level, because the purgatives do work on an energetic level to some degree at least, and particularly combo. Whew. It works on an energetic level in ways that the plant purgatives, I don't experience that in the same way that I do with combo. Combo can give you a good squeeze on an energetic and physical level. Yeah, it can wring you out. Um, so yeah, then your system is really ready to take in the plants on the physical level, and then if you're working with energetic stuff, energetic signatures of plants or entheogens, your system is primed and ready to really take that in. It can make your medicine experiences stronger if you're going to do like ayahuasca or bufo or mushrooms after a purgative, which you can do after. That's the key. You do the medicine after the purgative. It's the safe way, and it's the energetically appropriate way. Um, so yeah. So then you're really ready to go deeper. You're it what you're doing is you're creating the most space in your system possible for the medicines to work. That's essentially what you're doing by cleaning up your diet, by cleaning your system physically and energetically with the purgatives. Then you introduce the medicinal plants that are really there to do the transformation, really. These are the plants that are taking an action in your body that is essentially retraining your body how to be. Um, and you could consider this on an energetic level too. If you're working on energy or physical, and they're the same, like I keep saying, but sometimes you can focus more on one or the other, but you still gotta get them synergized. So now I'm going to talk about, if I think I was done with that train of thought. Now I want to talk about why work on both. Why work on both, physical and energetic? Why synergize it like that? The energy is the potential in relation to a condensed form of energy, which is physical. And you are an energetic being. You are a manifestation of potential energy. And people manage their energy with the way they perceive think, engage with emotions, engage with sensations. So we learn a lot of unconscious default ways of managing and being with our energy. And if you look at us as energetic beings, where there is a natural flow to the energy, and this is what people experience as, if people were to like spirit, when people experience whatever spirit is, not a spirit, but spirit itself, it's this unstructured flow of energy that literally is what we experience as humans is made out of it. It is potential. It is unstructured. It is the energy of existence itself. It is God. And it is what fuels all of existence. It is what all of 3D reality is made out of and comes from. And humans are complex as energetic transmitters, vehicles, expressors, manifestations of that energy. We are complex. We are very complex beings for the energy to move through and manifest through, compared to other beings that the energy has the option to express itself through, like an insect, or even another mammal like a cat or something. Like, they're their own complex, amazing, weird creatures, but humans are something on a whole different level of complexity. The fact that we have the ability to create the things in the way we do is fucking universally fan-fucking-tastic. Fantastic. I love it. Thanks, God. So, what I was saying is, we have these unconscious ways that we learn how to be with and manage that energy, and that energy shows up in the way we experience the movement of sensations, feelings, emotions, thoughts, all of that. And all that stuff is patterned and moves through our bodies, the physical form. And if you don't allow it to move through the physical form properly, it can get stuck, or it can get distorted, or it can get filtered or not experienced fully. So there's like little tendrils of it that get caught up and gunk up your system energetically if you don't know how to allow energy to move through you cleanly. And that means like really experiencing it and letting it go in every moment, and just experiencing it as it is and letting it be in you and letting it move through you. Embodiment and letting it go and experiencing it fully as it arises in every moment, but without attachment, without story. because that would be a way of holding on to the energy and distorting it and building something around it that's not its natural flow and natural way of being in the human being. So when you get energetically backed up with stuff that you're not experiencing cleanly, your system gets backed up with the energy, with the feelings, and your mind, in order to hold on to stuff, like its natural way is that it wants to move and flow if you don't get in the way. So it actually takes a lot of energy to hold the energy patterns the way they stay in the body when you don't let them flow cleanly and freely. It actually takes a lot of energy to keep them in place. You have to hold that with your body, with your energy, with the way you move and talk and express yourself. You're holding it all. You're confining yourself to these particular ways of being all the time, and it's the glue that holds it together. Maybe I'll phrase this differently at some point in the future after I sit with it more, but the glue that holds it all together, that like keeps it motivated to hold itself in these patterns, is the mind, is the mental stories and the concept of who we are based on the way we experience these energies. The mind makes up stories about who we are based on the way we experience these things and based on the way we know how to be with them and manage them. We're full of stories. We're full of shit. and it backs up in our system, and it literally makes us sick sometimes if it backs up enough. And in minor ways, it can make you have out of alignment, like personality quirks or qualities or habits of, like, maybe you have a habit of like ghosting people. I don't know, but maybe it comes from like a fear of saying the wrong thing or something. Like that's a way that the mind, the story, is holding this out of alignment pattern in place. But if it backs up even more or gets distorted even more, like I was saying, the energy is the potential and the physical is in manifest. And we are energetic transmitters. We play a very special role in the universe, in the way that energy is manifesting and expressing and experiencing itself. Humans play a unique role. And when the energy, the non-physical energy, gets fucked up enough, when you hold on to too much, when it gets backed up in your system so much that it just starts getting stored in the body, it just gets denser and denser, and the energy pattern just keeps building on itself And the pattern just gets more and more into a rut in the body because this is embodied stuff. And it can make you sick. So now we're talking about the psychosomatic connection and the fact that a lot of illnesses, physical illnesses, have energetic origins. I mean, my wild guess has always been around like 80% of illnesses have an energetic origin or component to them. Where the person mismanaged their energy because they didn't know any better. And none of us do, at least not till we figure it out. Some of us spend lots of time becoming self-aware and figure it out. A lot of this comes from unconscious things we chose as a child, and we don't remember having the choice. And it takes a deep level of self-awareness to understand, to figure out how to let it be free and clear, clean. Let it go. This happened when we were kids. But we can untie all the knots. Yeah, so, like literally, you can make yourself sick by suppressing your emotions. That type of thing. It's not just that. That's just an example. Suppressing your emotion. There's a lot of ways you can distort and suppress energy. Don't really need to get into all that right now, but so energetic signatures of plants are good for working with focusing the energy on specific aspects or levels of your being. They will be specific and they will target certain things versus doing energy work with the entheogens, the psychedelic medicines. That's working on an energetic level too. And to some degree, some of them on a physical level too, right? I mean, yes, they're also working on a physical level, but I think the plants are leaning more towards an even mix of energetic and physical, and psychedelics are often, in my perspective, a little heavier on working on an energetic level, but they also do affect the physical. The psychedelics are more like non-specific amplifiers of energy. And rather than aligning you with a specific signature in order to shift a specific energetic pattern for you, they're more like non-specific amplifiers. And they do have their own energetic signatures. But they really fundamentally, they amplify the energy of you and what's going on in your system, which gives you the opportunity to let go of stuff that you didn't know was there, or restructure these patterns that you didn't even know you chose to structure in any particular way. It's just the way you've been and the way you thought you would always be. It was the water you swam in. The fish doesn't know it lives in water, you know? It just is, and that's just its life. And for a lot of people, that these patterns, it's like the water that they've swam in their entire lives. And the psychedelics can give you opportunities to shift the way you navigate yourself, navigate energy, and to let stuff go that you didn't know how to let go of. Maybe you didn't even know it was there. So, psychedelic being non-specific amplifier, the plant signatures not so much being amplifiers, but really targeting and transforming certain aspects of your being. And then, so the way that I work with them is you can use the plant signature to direct what you're working on. And so you're incorporating this plant signature over like a dieta, you know, a week or 2 weeks or a month, whatever it is. But then periodically throughout that, you're also working with the entheogens, because you're integrating this energetic signature, which is directing what's being worked on, what's being transformed, healed, whatever, set in alignment. And then you're taking the entheogen to amplify what the plant is doing in your system. So you're amplifying with one medicine what you have used another medicine to focus in on, or to like, it's like the plant is kind of like, okay, this is what we have to work on, and then the psychedelic comes in and puts a fucking telescope to it, or a magnifier, or a microscope, and goes in and starts doing the work. They start doing the work together. So, you know, one is kind of directing the other one on how to work. And this is you. Essentially, you're the one. You're it. It's not, this is a non-dual thing for me. So it's teaching you how to do this work. It's teaching you how to focus in on specific aspects of your being and transform the way you are with that. Transform the way you relate to that, embody that. So they work so beautifully together and in a process together. The way you start with the cleansing, you introduce the plant energy to focus in and say, this is where we're working. Then you bring the psychedelic in and you amplify the whole process. And it fucking whoosh, whoosh, yeah. Oh yeah, it is so powerful, so juicy. I just love it. And then, you know, depending on how long you're going in a retreat process, at some point you add in the rebuilding medicines. There are plants that rebuild and re-strengthen your body after you've broken yourself down in the beginning with the diet and the purgatives and the psychedelics, and your reality is just like being shredded apart and fucking Every little bit of you is being cleaned, picked at, and made ready to be put back together in a more in alignment way. And then you bring in these other plants that really strengthen that and build your energy and your capacity for energy, and create this like stable, solid, grounded space for you to integrate into. It's fucking beautiful. I recommend it. This is the work I have been doing with myself for a bunch of years. I don't know, when did I start doing dietas at home? After COVID. Yeah, COVID. And then in 23, I actually went and did a apprenticeship, a training in Peru from with a Shipibo curanderismo family. That was sort of like small group courses that they held. But yeah, so now I really understand the dieta process on a whole nother level, because in the past when I did dietas down there, I was served as a client, but like they didn't explain what they were doing. They didn't teach me how to do it. And so when I did it back here at home, I was just making shit up. Because I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was based on what I experienced in Peru, and it was based on what I learned in my energetic herbalism training, because we did learn how to integrate plant signatures on these other levels, these not quite as deep as the dieta levels, in working with energetic herbalism. So I kind of had a sense of how to do it, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And I don't think those dietas were all that powerful. I mean, they had their qualities, like their beneficial qualities for sure, but it wasn't like a dieta I've done in Peru. But now, since 23, and the integration and healing process that lasted a couple years afterwards, now in the last year I've been doing proper deep dietas at home with myself, and it's been really lovely so far, working with nettles and Chirixinango. It's two plants that I'm very fond of. And yeah, and Chirik. Oh yes, I can feel it by talking about it. It's the one that I like. Yeah, okay. I just really enjoyed it. Every time I've taken that plant, I've just been like, there's something about this plant. I just like it, even though it's fucking intense. There's like a super authentic version of how I feel about Chirik. Unfiltered energy just flowing, man. You gotta try it. It's gonna be great. Yeah. So anyway, now I'm doing proper diets at home, and I have learned so much since that course, even though the challenges I faced during and after that course, for a variety of reasons, were just fucking mind-blowing, just fucking dark night of the soul stuff. But now in the last year, I've been really coming back into myself and getting back into my practice, and really integrating stuff I learned there into the way I work, and how to work with these energetic signatures through a process that is guiding the person into a more alignment, more authentic version of themselves. And from a non dual energetic perspective. So I'm not talking about practicing Shipibo Curanderismo. That's its own thing. And as far as I know, they're the only people that I could have possibly learned from if I wanted to learn the deepest, most powerful way to work in this way with plants. And I always have had that inspiration or aspiration. And it was at some point just like, well, these guys are the fucking masters. I gotta go find out how they're doing it. And even though it wasn't like it was hard, and because I am doing my own thing and I'm not there to become a Shipibo curandero, I have to figure out how to integrate everything into who I am. So that's the last year that's been happening. And I'm building a process, a practice, a retreat for people to come and experience this work. And I just want to say how authentically I can share in my experience working this way. It is so fucking powerful and beautiful and worth it. And it might not heal all your fucking problems, but it is so beautiful. And honestly, it didn't take me a week retreat and then I was fucking healed. Like I've been doing this work for 11 years. Yeah, and some of my dietas were, like a month or two long. A month or two in this process, a month or two at a time. Some of them were only a week or two also. And I did a lot of fucking bufo. Which fucking just blows everything else out of the water as far as opening up and processing and clearing your energy. And so that's one that if I work with that and energetic signatures of plants, you want to be really mindful of the way you mix those and the effects that you want and or could get. And that's a territory that is really unexplored because bufo is so new, and I think there are some dieteros and curanderos that are working with both. But I haven't personally talked to any of them and had discussions, but like, I have questions about if you're incorporating an energetic signature and then you do bufo, is the bufo going to clear the signature from your system? Or maybe there's a lot of factors that matter. Maybe it depends on the plant. Maybe it depends on how long the diet was. Maybe it depends on, did you get all what you needed from that signature? Maybe it depends on a variety of things. I'm still learning that. But you would just want to be aware of the potential to accidentally clear a diet that you didn't want to clear. That's really the only thing. But I could see it as a good way to prepare your system with the plants, with the signatures, before you do a big opening. Like, I don't know, maybe you need a little extra help being grounded or something. Or maybe it works the same way it does with like ayahuasca, where you're just directing it with one medicine and amplifying it with the other, and they work synergistically. The plants with the more mild, long-lasting psychedelic medicines. So I've even worked in synergy, plant energies in synergy with LSD, which is a unique, fantastic practice that maybe someday I will learn how to refine and get good at facilitating for people. If people wanted me to, I could. And I did some beautiful, beautiful experiences in synergy with LSD and these other plant energies, because LSD is such a pure crystal amplifying thing. Like, it's, of all the medicines, it's just the clarity and the presence and just its pure ability to amplify without like a strong particular energetic signature quality that it's bringing in, other than the fact that it's kind of heating. But like mushrooms have like a particular energetic signature, and ayahuasca does, and San Pedro does. LSD is a little different. It just is like fucking crystal amplification, like a fucking magnifying glass that is just like, I mean, there's benefits and drawbacks to this, because with the other plants it kind of feels like there's like a buffer, or like the plant, you could say, and some people say, it teaches you, it guides you in the consciousness of the plant guides you. I don't say it that, I don't think of it that way, but there's something about it where there's like a softening, or like it's easier to manage, easier to navigate to some degree. Whereas with like LSD, it's just like kind of a free for all. It's just purely you amplifying you, and you're just experiencing whatever you are. And there's no like sense of any particular like being or quality or signature there. It's just amplification. So if you get one plant, or like get an energetic signature involved, you can really amplify that signature in a really powerful way. And yeah, I've had some amazing experiences doing that. So yeah. Well, okay, it's been an hour, and I think I've said everything I want to say right now. Maybe I'll make another video sometime if I feel like I missed a bunch of stuff, but like I feel like I really explained and shared how I incorporate all these different aspects into this unique process that I have created based on my experiences with dietas and energetic herbalism, and doing a lot of psychedelics, and working with a lot of different plants in a variety of ways. That's what I wanted to share with you all today. So, yeah, if you want to learn more about what I do, go to my website, and you'll see information about the retreats that I offer, and some information about different aspects of the work that I do, At some point, there's going to be kind of like a my journey sort of thing. I'm currently writing a book, which I have one of the chapters. I'm going to be putting up more chapters up on this YouTube channel. And that book is about me and my whole process of figuring out who I am and discovering medicine work and healing work and just my whole awakening process and healing process, that book. And so there's going to be probably some overlap there on the website with the book at some point. I don't think it's up right now. But anyway, yeah, you'll see what I have to offer. And yeah, there's contact information on the website if you want to get a hold of me. And I offer free 20-minute consultations if you just want to find out if this is what work for you. If you want to find out about it from me, if you want to find out if it's the right thing for you, we can have a 20-minute free consultation. And then, yeah, you'll see the other offerings I have, the retreats that I've created. So go check it out. The website is fenmountaintransformation.com, and that is FEN mountain, MOUNTAIN, transformation.com. All one word. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, that's all I have to share with you right now. Thank you for sitting through this whole video, if you have, and hearing what I have to say about energetic healing work, and about this practice that I have sort of created. And it's kind of unique and beautiful, and I can't wait to share it with more people. All right, have a good one, y'all.